Yo, what up, good people? It's your boy Godly-Mindstate back at you with another story. Got this story from AOL.com. You know what I mean? It says former Florida police chief sentenced to 3 years in prison for framing innocent black people. Okay. A former Florida police chief was sentenced on Tuesday to 3 years in jail for conspiring to frame black people for crimes they did not commit. Ex-Biscayne Park Chief Raimundo Arteziano was handed a sentence by a federal judge in Miami after pleading guilty to intentionally ordering officers to arrest black people for multiple unsolved burglaries in order to improve the village's crime rate, the Miami Herald reports. So he falsified reports trying to meet quotas and shit like that. 54-year-old former police chief faced up to 10 years in prison for these crimes. This is him. This is Arteziano. When I took the job, I was not prepared, Arteziano told the judge on Tuesday. I made some very, very bad decisions. Really. In October, two former Biscayne Park officers who worked under Arteziano, Charlie Dayub and Raul Fernandez, pled guilty to falsifying arrest affidavits for a 16-year-old black suspect for unsolved break-in in 2013. They were each sentenced to a year in prison, according to the Miami Herald. These two guys got a year for fucking up folk lives, but we'll get to that in a minute. The false burglary charges were eventually dropped on the 16-year-old, okay? A third officer, Guillermo Ravello, also admitted to falsifying arrest warrants for two individuals under Arteziano's authority in 2013 and 14 and was sentenced to 2 years and 3 months behind bars. For his own personal benefit, Chief Arteziano corruptly and disgracefully abused his authority and power of his office to create fictitious clearance statistics by falsely arresting individuals. That's what the Assistant Attorney General Eric Dreblin said, all right? And he also goes on to state that this kind of abuse of power has no place in our nation and is contrary to American ideals, the rule of law, and fundamental fairness. Okay, so you know what I mean. That's I'm done with the story, reading the story or skimming the article or whatever. But you know, I basically want to say that this is you got two common cases right here. First off, you got a case of white supremacy and you know what I'm saying, an old ass white man placing his hand on some young people life or whoever the fuck, some black people life, you know what I'm saying, doing whatever he want to do to their life, basically falsifying charges, casing them up and fucking their record up, you know what I'm saying, for future references on some real white supremacy shit, or locking them away, whatever he doing to them, you know what I'm saying, he fucking their shit up, and he doing it intentionally, and he only got charged with, 3 of these cases. I guarantee you it's 100 of these fucking cases. I read in another article that when I was reading up on it that, you know what I'm saying, he been doing this shit, but I didn't have to read the article to know that he been falsifying it. He done planted dope on niggas. He done extorted niggas. He done probably, you know what I'm saying, raped some black females or made them do something for him to, you know what I'm saying, get out of little bullshit charges. This what kind of individuals we dealing with. These are people that's policing our black community, people who got nothing but hatred for us, so that make it easy for them to falsify charges on us, or that make it easy for them to, you know what I'm saying, shoot first and ask question later with us, and you know what I'm saying. I just covered another story today about a white gunman who went in a municipal building and killed a man, and they peacefully apprehended him. But we get the opposite of peace. We get the opposite of respect. We get the opposite of justice. Anytime you dealing with a black man in a white courtroom or white police officer, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say anytime, but a good portion of the time you dealing with a motherfucker who got no love and no respect and really despise the attitude breathe. You know what I mean? And that's what we dealing with as a whole, as a total, as a black community. These are the officers that you know what I'm saying, that's policing us. I rarely see a black police officer. Sometimes I see them, but you can't trust them neither. They institutionalized inside the institution that, you know what I'm saying, they're a part of. But I will say that I have seen some good black officers. But that's a whole nother story, a whole nother situation. But I'm talking about this man down here. So I said it's two cases. So the first case was a case of white supremacy. Now the second case is a case of white privilege. Cause how in the fuck? Okay, they named 4 officers in all in that article that I just read y'all, right? Okay, so the first 2 officers that I named, they both got 1 year apiece. The third officer that I named, he got 2 years. And the chief, the former chief, he got 3 years. So let's add that up, right? 1 plus 1 is 2, plus another 2 is 4, plus 3 years for the chief. That's 7 years. That's 7 years of prison term that these men got for, you know what I'm saying, basically trying to fuck niggas' life up and trying to send niggas, trying to railroad niggas for 30 and 45 and 50 years. Do you know how much time you get on burglary cases, home? I know some niggas. I know niggas who used to do that shit. They handing niggas out real time for burglary. 10 to 12 years for that shit. You mean to tell me out of 4 y'all only issue out 7 years? That's a straight up and down case of white privilege. I guarantee you, man, that, you know what I'm saying, if there had been a black police chief corrupt like that, and they came out to the world that he was corrupt like that, there had been a black police chief officer, man, you know what I'm saying, he would have definitely got the book thrown at him. He wouldn't got no little slap on the wrist, no little 3-year light sentence for playing with people's lives, man. You know, I'm under the assumption that if you falsely accusing me, it's an attempted murder on my life, man. Cause anytime you put up false, if I go to jail for this crime, man, for 15, 20 years for some shit that I ain't did, that is a murder. You took my life away from me. So, you know, I'm gonna leave it right here. But let me know what you think about these officers getting off with such a light sentence for playing with people's lives and really jeopardizing people's lives, you know. And also, like, subscribe, share my videos, and thank you for your time.